Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing Leetcode problem 1304. Find n unique integer sum up to 0. I'm doing this with Javascript. This is considered an easy problem. Alright, this is one of those rare instances, I think, where the examples are actually more confusing than the description. I think they're a little misleading. Usually it's the other way around. Usually I can just look at the examples and understand the problem much better than reading the description. But anyways, here's the description. Given an integer n, return an array containing n unique integers such that they add up to 0. So if n is 5, we've got 5, our output is an array with 5 integers, and they need to all be unique, and they need to add up to 0. So -7 plus -1 is -8, plus 1 is -7, plus 3 is -4, plus 4 is 0. Well, there's an easier way to think about this. Let's go with an even number, okay? Let's say we got 4, so we need 4 integers. So the easiest way you can do this is just whatever integer you put in there, put the negative integer in with it, right? So what I mean by that is we can start with 1, right? And then we put a -1. There's 0, right? And then 2, and then -2, right? So there's 4 integers that add up to 0. And of course, if we had 6, we just keep going with this, right? So 3, and then -3, right? And so if you have an odd number, right, that's gonna work for all the odd numbers. But then if you have an odd number, all we can do is we can have the same process, but just have a 0 in there, right? That's how I did it, and it worked great. So that's what we're going to do here. So what we can do is, I'm going to move over to CodePen. Here's our variable. Was it n? I think it was n, yeah. Yep, cool. N equals 5. Here's our function. Let's log in the console. Alright, so what we can do is we can create a result variable, an array, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to say if this number is odd, we're going to go ahead and put a 0 in the array, like I explained earlier. So that'll just be there at the very beginning. And if it's even, it's going to be an empty array. And then we can run that process of adding a 1 and then a -1, a 2 and a -2, right? So that process will work for either even or odd. So I'm going to use, I'm going to say the variable is result. And we're going to use a ternary operator to say if n remainder 2 is 0, that's an even number, right? We initialize an empty array. If it's an odd number, we put a 0 in it. And so that'll work just great for getting us started. So if I return results, which is what we're going to do at the end of the day anyways, right now you'll see an array with a 0 in it because it's an odd number. Alright, and then we'll just create a while loop. Before that, I'm going to set variable count to 0, and then we'll say while result.length is less than n. First thing we do is we increment count, and then we're going to create a variable called -count. We set that equal to count minus -1, right? And then we push into result count -count, and then let's console log. Cool. And so what's happening here, since we have 5, it's an odd number. Result starts with 0, right? And then we go into our while loop. We increment count, so count becomes 1, negative count becomes -1, and we push those both in, so we have 0, 1, -1. Result still isn't, the length of result is still not equal to n, so we got to go through again. We increment count again, and then we assign negative count to count times -1, so this is 2, -2. We were pushing both those in. We got 2, -2. We got 5 numbers in our array, and it adds up to 0. So let's grab all this and let's paste it in Leetcode, format our code. Let me go ahead and submit. There you go. It's nice and fast. All right, hopefully you found this video enjoyable and helpful. If you did, please give it a like. It helps my channel to grow. If you'd like to see more videos like these, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again real soon.